You're listening to the HUD Podcast, the official podcast for the Hudsonian newspaper at Hudson Valley Community College. An HVCC podcast for the students, by the students. Your news now. Get ready to enter the HUD. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the HUD, the official podcast for the Hudsonian newspaper at Hudson Valley Community College. I'm your host, Nolan Cleary. I'm the managing editor for the Hudsonian. There's a new film on Netflix right now that has people buzzing. It's called I'm Thinking of Ending Things, and it's directed by Oscar winner Charlie Kaufman. The film has received rave reviews from critics, and it's even received some Oscar attention. What you may not know is that one of the film's stars is a student at HVCC. Savanah Shulkin is the vice president of the Student Senate and a former writer for the Hudsonian. She joins me today to discuss her experience. Savanah, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Nolan. But I will have to say that I don't want to give the impression that I was a star, but thank you for the attention all the same.
All right. Well, your role was what we remembered the most. But so Savanah, tell me, for those who haven't seen I'm Thinking of Ending Things, what is your role like in the film?
All right. So essentially, I was a glorified background actor. I was in a few scenes as solely a background figure, and then I was in one scene, which was the dancing girls behind the Many a New Day scene of the movie. And I had some screen time on that, which was very exciting and wonderful.
Now, how did you get the part? How did you get the part?
So I applied for the background roles originally, and the process, I had to send in a picture of myself. I had to send a whole bunch of measurements of the kind of clothing that I wear, and then also submit a resume of any kind of work that's similar to movie or theater or film in the past. And I did a whole bunch of acting in school plays and some local community theater in high school. And so I had a lot of theater experience. And I feel like based off of that, they pulled me kind of from the pile of background people to be in this kind of the background dancers for this one play of Oklahoma within the movie.
Now, and right now there is an article on the Hudsonian.org from junior creative editor Lomi Blum more about this. So how long did it take to film the scenes, and how many days did it take to film your scenes for I'm Thinking of Ending Things?
So I was on set for one day, and we filmed from 7 a.m. until, I would say, I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it was around like 12:30 at night. Yeah, it was pretty long.
And where did you film?
We filmed down by Newburgh, New York, in a high school, and I don't remember the exact name. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, that's fine. So you worked with Charlie Kaufman. Obviously, Charlie Kaufman is considered a big name in Hollywood. He wrote the screenplay for movies like Action and Being John Malkovich. I know he's also directed a lot of other films, too. I know he directed Schenectady, New York. He directed the movie Anomalisa. What was it like working with him?
It was crazy, to say the least. It was a pretty crazy experience altogether. How it kind of happened was that I had to get there early in the morning to film the one Many a New Day scene. And we kind of just got walked from the area where we had hair and makeup and got dressed right into this huge auditorium, which was the school auditorium where we were filming. And we were just walking down the alleyway between all of the seats. And there was Charlie Kaufman. And we were all there was like 7 girls and myself, and we were just utterly shocked. And then even more shocked when we found out that he was going to be kind of working with us for that scene.
Wow.
It was pretty incredible.
Oh, wow. Now, did you know he was directing the film before you got there?
Okay. I did not know that he was directing until I arrived there that morning. I feel like with these kind of very public open calls that they have for background cast, they give you very little details about what you're actually working on. The only information that I knew going into it was that it was going to be a film that was produced by Netflix, and it was going to become a feature film. So that's all I knew.
Now, what is your, now you also said in the article, you said that you didn't know the title of the movie prior to going in. What was your reaction when you learned more about the movie and more about what the movie was about? And how did you learn more about that?
Well, once I found out what the movie was called, which I did not find out until I think my first fitting, I found out what the movie was called, and it is based off of a book. So I immediately went and looked up the book. I actually ordered it from my library and read it. And then I had more of an idea of what the plot of the movie would be based on. But at the same time, like there's really no way to know ahead of time exactly what you're going to be thrown into. So a lot of the scenes that we worked in, I was surprised about some of them and wasn't really previously thinking that we were going to be presenting that particular aspect of the book in that way. So it was always exciting.
Yeah. Now, have you seen any of Charlie Kaufman's other films?
Yeah, I've seen all of them. I'm a pretty big fan of him.
Now, what are your thoughts on the movie? I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
I love it. I think that Hoffman has a really great way of capturing just the raw human emotion of everything. And I feel like within the movie, you're kind of presented with all of these different human beings, and you can really see through this very raw representation of them who they are. And I really love that part about it.
Now, what is your reaction, or what is your reaction to the reviews so far and the reaction to the film?
Well, Nolan, I was a very small part. I feel like it's exciting. I'm so happy for the main actors and everyone who worked on it. I'm not going to take the credit for the reviews. My 5 seconds of real appearance, I'm sure didn't cause that, but I'm so happy to be part of it.
Well, you never know, but what was it like interacting with some of the other actors on the set?
It was crazy. I mean, I had seen a lot of them in other productions, some of them as main characters, some of them as background characters or second class characters. And so it was kind of, I feel like I definitely experienced a moment where it was kind of a shift of how I thought about them in other projects. I'm the kind of person who always looks up to these great actors and people in film. And I think that I had a very lofty image of them in a way that they were almost not human. So it was pretty incredible to be there and just see them as people, not on the screen, but just right in front of you.
Did you know any of them personally prior to being on set?
No, I did not.
Now, do you hope to do any other movies like this in the future?
Yes, I really enjoyed the overall experience, and I would love to do more background work. The Hudson Valley actually has a lot of opportunities for that kind of work, and so I'm excited to hopefully apply for some more projects in the coming years.
So what was your favorite part about filming?
I think that my favorite part was the actual filming. I had been doing a lot of theater before that, and I think that I had kind of an idea of what filming would be like, but it was incredible to actually be in the moment and do a scene numerous times and try to match it as much as you could to what you had done before. So then the cameras could get different angles, and just the whole process of the lights all changing, the cameras changing. It's really a lot different than I previously thought would it would be like. So I think that just having that experience was incredible.
Sure. Now, I know that you said you've done some theater before. What was your experience with that like before prior to filming? I'm thinking of ending things.
So I was always a very theater drawn child. I loved going to the theater, watching theater, reading theater, taking part in theater. So I was in a lot of different Shakespeare productions that usually happen during the summer, kind of locally around where I live. Senior year, I was involved in our class play and had a leading role. I was in Fiddler on the Roof a few times, The Sound of Music. I just really enjoy the whole scene.
Sure. Now, have you done any movies before this?
I had done a very small independent production before this, but nothing kind of to this scale.
Mm-hmm. What was it like seeing yourself in a Netflix movie? Describe that experience to me.
Oh my gosh, it was pretty crazy. I woke up the morning that the film had come out, and Netflix films, as you may know, always come out around like 3 o'clock in the morning, and not at midnight because of the fact that there's the time difference in the United States. And so I kind of wanted to wake up at 3 and watch it then, but I had classes the next morning quite early. So I ended up waking up at 7 and just skipping ahead to my part because I really just wanted to see if it got into the actual movie, because there was kind of the thought that the scene entirely may be cut, which is always kind of a fear that people have. And I remember just going ahead and then suddenly seeing the scene that I was in. I was so excited. And then I kind of went ahead a tiny bit so I could kind of get the introduction to it, watched it, and then watched it again, and then ran downstairs and showed my mother and my siblings. It was kind of crazy just seeing your face on a streaming service like Netflix within a film. It was incredible.
Now, when you were younger, did you ever imagine yourself in a major film production?
It was definitely a dream. I definitely wanted to pursue acting when I was like 12 or 13. And I actually had a bucket list that I made of things that I wanted to do before I died. And being in a movie was one of them. So it's nice to have that off the list.
Now, after you filmed your part, before the film came out, did you tell anybody about the fact that you were in this big Netflix movie?
I told a few people. I mostly just my close friends. Once it came out, it was funny because people would reach out to me who like I kind of knew, some of them from like lower school, some people from high school who I hadn't really talked to since I left, personal family friends, and they asked me if it was me, and I was like, yeah. It's something that it's kind of strange to just like bring it up in conversation. But I definitely told my close friends and my family.
Did you have to keep it a secret from anyone? And if so, what was it like having to keep that secret from other people?
So we weren't allowed to take pictures on set. I took a picture afterwards of one scene that I was in. We had one shoot where we all were in our prom dresses and just sitting in the audience with regular high school kind of ball makeup on. And then we refilmed the same scene with us all aged. So they sprayed silver stuff in our hair and put wrinkles on our face. And some of us had like added facial hair and stuff. And so after that scene, I went outside and took a secret picture of myself because I really wanted to capture it. I hope I don't get in trouble. I'm sorry. But but they didn't tell us that we couldn't tell people that we were in it, and we didn't have to sign anything saying that we wouldn't kind of release that we were in the film and that it was coming.
So tell me a little bit more about the makeup, the aging makeup. What was that like? Wearing that makeup, was that uncomfortable? And what was it like seeing sort of an aged version of yourself?
It was really funny, actually. Since I was in the Many a New Day scene, we finished filming that around 12. It kind of took a long time because there was a whole dancing aspect of it. So when we re-entered the auditorium where the rest of the high school students who had applied for the background position were, everyone was in hair and makeup and getting dressed for the first filming of the auditorium scene. And we all then filmed that scene for a few hours and then all got rushed back, and the hair and makeup team were just like there, armed with their brushes and their bottles of silver hairspray, and we just all got into lines, and essentially they just executed this whole entire aged look on one of us, each of us, one by one.
Wow.
And it was really funny to see this auditorium of probably around like 150 high schoolers go from just high schoolers at prom to very old people. We had wrinkles. They put like big circles under our eyes. Some of us had like added prosthetics put on. It was crazy, and it was really funny just watching everyone become aged.
Yeah. Now, how long ago did you film it?
So the filming took place the summer of 2018.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
So is that long ago?
It was quite long ago. But I think that it really goes to show how much work goes into filming and editing and just getting the whole project together. I think watching a movie, it is like around like 2 hours long. And then you don't really think as someone sitting in the audience about how much time and effort and hours upon hours go into this 2-hour piece. Like, I think it really, being involved really opened my eyes to the fact that we filmed for an entire day for scenes that probably took up maybe 10 minutes in total in the movie, or more, maybe more like 15 minutes. So that was a real eye opener for me.
Was it like kind of hard to wait between sort of that 2-year span, that almost 2-year span for the movie to come out after recording or after filming the scenes?
Yeah, definitely. They didn't give us any information about when it would come out, so it was kind of just maybe like once a month I would just Google, I'm thinking of ending things. And in the beginning, there was just like some news articles that were just based around the leaked information about the film and who was directing it and some of the stars. But it was funny because I would read some of the articles about who was in it, and then I would think of a few other famous people who I guess they just hadn't heard about yet who were in it. So it was kind of funny to know that information. And then eventually the trailer came out, and that was super exciting. And around that time, the release date was kind of made public as well. So then I had more of a gauge of the actual timing.
I know there's some big actors in the film, like Toni Collette. Did you get to meet any of the bigger stars on set?
I did not get to meet them personally. I was actually, funny situation, after the Many a New Day scene, the 7 girls and myself, we were kind of escorted through set by these individuals to bring us back to the hair and makeup stations. And I think that they maybe misunderstood kind of what the individual who told them where we were going said, because they brought us actually to the I guess the main area where the stars were having their hair and makeup. And so we kind of walked in and saw some of them and were like, oh my gosh, it was kind of crazy. And then we stood there for a little while, and then someone I guess realized that we were in the wrong place, and they took us to the right area.
Wow. Well, thank you again for joining me, Savanah.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. It was wonderful to be on the HUD.
And you can officially watch Savanah in her brilliant role in I'm Thinking of Ending Things Now on Netflix. That about wraps up this week's episode of The HUD. Make sure to tune in next week when I'll be co-hosting with our editor-in-chief for a very special Thanksgiving episode of The HUD. To read more about the following stories, make sure to head over to thehudsonian.org for the latest on-campus news from the Hudsonian, and make sure to listen to new episodes of The HUD every Monday.